Hello, English 110. Here we are in Module 6, our second to last module. Let's go ahead and get going and get this stuff done so we can finish up that final essay and be out of here next week. So on Monday, October 15th at 8 a.m., your module, oh my gosh, I can't talk, I'm sorry. Your module will open. Wednesday, your discussion post is due at 11:59 p.m. Then your responses to the discussion board are due on Friday at 11:59 p.m. And then on Sunday, the 21st, you have an assignment due. So this week is a little bit lighter than last week. Next week will be a heavier week again, but then we will be done. So enjoy this week. I'll let you read through these objectives and the to-do list at your own time, but the required reading for this week is Hamlet. And some of you, if you're using that text for your final essay, you may have already begun reading this, but if you have not, then you can begin now. And of course, you'll need to be familiar with MLA style. You can click this link here, and that will take you into the MLA.org site, and you can check that out. For your discussion board, we'll of course be writing about Hamlet. I'll let you read through this post at your own time, and I think by now you have a sense of how to do the discussion board. So if you have questions about the post or the assignment, let me know. But otherwise, I'm assuming you know what is up. And then we have a single assignment this week. Pardon me. So we've talked a little bit about the writing process, and in last week's module, I did talk about how writing, isn't linear, that it takes a lot of twists and turns and there's steps and stages along the way. And this assignment is developed for you to maybe more thoroughly understand what your writing process is. Sometimes we think we know what our writing process is, but it's not actually what we do. So hopefully this will help you see really what is your process, what conditions allow you to be the most successful as a writer. So let's just go through this verbatim here. One of the most important steps to producing a quality piece of writing is understanding process. Now that you have drafted your essay, it's time to consider what the process was. This is beneficial because it affords the writer the opportunity to see what parts of the process are smooth and helpful and what parts might have holes or need attention. For this assignment, we will examine your current writing process. This clever video might give you an idea of what occurs within the writing process. I encourage you to answer the questions provided in the video. He'll ask a question and tell you to pause the video. I encourage you to do those, so they are not required. They are helpful and will give you a head start in the assignment and your paper. Pardon me. So the video is here. You can watch that. And then after watching the video, please answer the following questions. Number 1. What is your current writing process? So you should answer this based upon what you have been doing this entire time as you've been working on your essay. So what is your current writing process? List out each step with a brief explanation of what you do in that phase. And the video will give you some language to talk about the writing process, the different steps and different phases along the way. Sorry. It's fine if you repeat a few steps. The writing process kind of goes forward and backward and, as I said, twists and turns. So you might find that you do a few things back and forth a couple times. That's totally fine. Also keep in mind that I'm not expecting a particular process. Be honest. What do you do when you are assigned a piece of writing? So there's no right or wrong answers here. I just want your honest writing process. Number 2, what assumptions do you have about your writing? In other words, what do you believe are your strengths? What do you think you have room, what areas do you think you have room for refinement? We come to the table with a lot of truths about our writing and a lot of misknowings about our own writing. I often see students who are they kind of know hey, I really struggle with structure. And they think that they're kind of bad at some things, but they're actually not. So it's good for us just to think about hey, what do I think about my own writing? And is that actually true? So just some food for thought. Number 3. What assumptions do you have about your topic or the pieces of literature that you are writing about? Are those assumptions accurate? And in what ways can you ensure those assumptions, if they are accurate, are supported in your writing? So we bring a lot of things to the table as writers, including our own feelings about things. And, sometimes our assumptions are correct and sometimes they are not. So we have to do a little bit of, soul searching about those things to decide, hey, Are my assumptions about this argument real? Is this something I can prove with research, or is this something that's actually not accurate at all? So it's very important for us to A, know what our assumptions are, and then decide if they're real or not. And if they are, we have to provide evidence from the text. And so in terms of writing about literature, this is important because you might assume one thing about the text, but this skill is also really transfers into our regular lives. We assume things about other people and ideas and movies and all sorts of things all day long. So we have to really ask ourselves all the time, are my assumptions real? Are they accurate? So this skill is kind of nice to have for writing and for life. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I keep coughing in your video. Number 4, what distracts you from writing? How can you alleviate this as you write your essay? So for me, I find that if I listen to classical music, I grew up as a ballerina. I still dance the whole 9 yards. I perform, So for me, classical music really helps me think and get my ideas going. It gives me some creative movement. However, if I'm writing and there's anything else with words around me, I can't concentrate. Some people can listen to music with words or listen to a podcast and work. I can't do that. Or I know a lot of you have families, maybe writing when your children are around is a little distracting. So is there a time or a place where maybe your kids are asleep and you can just get a little writing done for 10 minutes? So what distracts you from your writing and how can you alleviate this as you write? And then number 5, what environment supports your best work? I work really well in front of a window. All right. Other people, they find that to be a little bit distracting. So what environment supports your best work and how can you create that environment as you finish your essay? So you can answer all these questions. The expectations are listed here. All questions must be answered in at least 150 words per question, with the exception of question 1, which can be in list form because we're just sort of exploring the process in question 1. Otherwise, 2 through 5 must be 150 words. Answers must be thoughtful and formally articulated. It doesn't need to be supported, with 8 pages of research, but you should have, a formal conversation about these or for these questions. And then lastly, students should be familiar with the below rubric. Please note here that you'll need to type your answers directly into the content editor. So this is really just to make sure that you know how to use the content editor, because you will be required to copy and paste your final essay into the content editor. And it's good to know now if you know how to do that versus later, because if I don't have it later, that's a problem. If I don't have it now, not such a big deal. So this is really about practice. So please type your content directly into the content editor. For me, I like to type up my answers in Word and then copy and paste them into the content editor. That's just my thing. I'll let you decide how you want to deal with that. So the rubric is below. This is 75 points. If you remember, once we got back into the swing of things after Hurricane Florence, we started on a Wednesday and had a half week. So I cut out your assignment, and that points for that assignment have been stretched across 2 other modules. So this is your last one where the assignment is worth 75 points. It's pass-fail. All questions must be addressed. You really can't answer these questions incorrectly. That's why it's pass-fail. It's more that I'm looking for, an authentic answer that meets the expectations. So all questions must be addressed. Answers to the questions must be at least 150 words, with the exception of question 1. Each answer has at least one supporting, I have here quote, but more so a quote, just an example, right? So if, let's say you're answering number 4, what distracts you from your environment? I need to know my children, and then tell me a little bit more about how you can alleviate this as you write your essay. It's not just a one-word answer. Give me some real evidence to tell me how you can fix that problem. And then last but not least, all answers are thoughtful and formally articulated. So this is your assignment. I do beg you to watch the video here because this will give you the language that you need to talk about it. Really, if you don't watch this, I will probably know because you're not using the right language. So watch the video, then answer the questions. And that is it for this module. So it's a lighter week than last week, as I mentioned. I do want to just have a little side note here. If you're in module 5, A lot of you lost power due to the tropical storm that hit the central part of the state. So because of that, in Module 5, I've opened up everything to close, I have extended the deadlines to close on Tuesday, the 16th at 11:59 p.m. So you have until Tuesday to finish up Module 5, all assignments in Module 5. Pardon me. However, your Module 6 will still open on Monday. So there is a little overlap between Module 5 and Module 6. You're welcome to, finish your Module 5 stuff whenever you're ready, but you do have until Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. to get that work done. So that's it for this module. Moving forward, we just have our final module here, week 7. Excuse me, again, for like the 10th time, Module 7, and after that, we will be done fall 1. So, have a great week. If you have questions, you can either catch up with me on the GroupMe app or you can shoot me an email, and I'm happy to help you out. Have a great day. Bye.